This is an absolute nightmare scenario unfolding behind closed doors in Philadelphia right now, and nobody wants to say it out loud. When an entire NFL franchise falls into a total, deafening blackout, you don't panic because of what they are telling you. You panic because of the terrifying void of what they are completely refusing to say. 5 straight days. 5 agonizing calendar days have crawled by, and not a single soul inside that building has offered an estimated recovery date, a medical classification, or even a basic word of reassurance. Just a recurring name, appearing day after day, frozen on the wrong side of the ledger. And then came Saturday, August 8th, the absolute peak of training camp. A brutal, grueling, full-padded simulation of real game day intensity. That was the day the silence became deafening. When a front office wants to calm the anxiety of a passionate fan base, information flows freely. But when total, eerie quiet takes over, it means they're holding their breath, waiting for test results, and bracing for reality they desperately hope to avoid. That distinction right there is the razor-thin line separating a minor 3-day muscle tweak from a catastrophic crisis that threatens to swallow the entire month of August whole. Before we dive deeper into how this changes everything for the upcoming season, smash that subscribe button right now if you want the absolute fastest, unfiltered NFL updates on the planet. The anatomy of a disappearing act. Let's rewind the tape to see how this slow-moving disaster quietly crept up on the team. It all began innocently enough on Monday, August 3rd, inside the controlled environment of an indoor walkthrough. No pads, low impact, the kind of routine session where nobody ever expects a player to suffer a setback. But the very next day, when the squad walked out onto the grass at the Jefferson Health Training Complex for their first major padded practice of the year, one crucial piece of the puzzle was entirely missing. Initial reports from the rounds suggested a routine hamstring strain, pointing toward a minor speed bump with zero long-term threat. The internal messaging was designed to keep everyone calm, reminding anybody who would listen that nobody gets rushed back in August. Fans exhaled, filed it away as standard training camp maintenance, and moved on. Except the days kept marching forward. Practice sessions came and went, and the undisputed focal point of the offensive attack stayed planted firmly on the sideline. 1 missed practice is standard operating procedure. 2 missed practices call for cautious management. But stretching that absence to 5 consecutive sessions without a single official update on severity or a projected timeline crosses the line from routine precaution into a deeply unsettling pattern. While some optimistic observers argue that the lack of public alarm means there's genuinely nothing serious to worry about, history tells us a different story. Silence is precisely what an organization deploys when they simply do not have answers yet. And missing Saturday wasn't just missing any ordinary practice. It was the longest, most punishing session of the entire summer schedule. The heat, the pads, and the domino effect picture the scene. Soaring summer heat, full pads snapping against shoulder pads, and a full-scale team-versus-team scrimmage. This is as close as football gets to a live, regular season Sunday before the preseason games kick off. It is the ultimate dress rehearsal. It is the exact moment a first-year offensive coordinator puts his newly minted system to the test to discover what actually works under heavy pressure. With a brand-new playbook being installed from scratch, every single repetition carries triple the value of an individual drill. And the undisputed number 1 weapon in the entire passing game watched the entire installation unfold from the safety of the sideline. Worse yet, he wasn't keeping that lonely watch by himself. Look closer at the walking wounded list from that exact same Saturday, and a horrifying pattern begins to emerge across the roster. The hamstring bug swept through the locker room like wildfire. A promising rookie receiver was stuck on the sideline with a hamstring issue. A key deep threat was nursing a hamstring strain. A young safety joined them with identical soft tissue trouble. Elsewhere, a receiver battled through a concussion. A rookie linebacker dealt with an ankle injury, and a veteran edge rusher remained trapped on the physically unable to perform list due to a pectoral strain. To top it all off, 2 running backs were forced to exit practice early. Think about that for a second. Multiple players knocked out by the exact same soft tissue muscle failure, all clustered together in the opening half of August. That is not just a string of bad luck. That is an entire positional room paralyzed by physical breakdown during the single most vital week of offensive installation. While one young rookie was at least spotted working his way back on the jugs machine, slowly ramping up his movement, the team's top star showed no parallel activity whatsoever. When a seasoned veteran completely vanishes from public view, while rookies are at least tossing balls on the side, alarm bells should be ringing across the city. Who is stepping up to soak up those priceless repetitions in his absence? A mix of capable depth pieces, journeymen, and eager youngsters fighting desperately for a roster spot. While a few of them have flash moments of brilliance under the summer sun, let's be completely honest with each other. None of those names commands enough respect to force an opposing defensive coordinator to rip up their weekly game plan. Depth can successfully survive an August practice. Depth cannot carry a September Sunday. The stakes are higher than ever to truly grasp the magnitude of this situation. You have to look at the massive shift in power that occurred during the offseason. The primary playmaker of the past is gone, traded away to a new home. That massive departure instantly thrust our star receiver into the undisputed role of the primary target in the passing attack. Look at the production. Dozens of catches, over 1,000 yards, multiple touchdowns across a full 17-game grind. He stands tall in franchise history among the elite receiving leaders, nipping right at the heels of the very star who left town. That historic resume is currently parked on a trainer's table while an entirely new offensive ecosystem is being built around him. Who's to blame for this sudden offensive stall? Or is this just standard training camp caution? Drop a name below. The core issue here isn't physical conditioning. A true professional always stays in shape and knows how to take care of his body. The real, unspoken danger is the erosion of invisible chemistry. A brand new offensive system relies heavily on telepathy between the quarterback and his top target, knowing instantly what adjustments to make the exact millisecond a defense shows a disguised look. You cannot manufacture that kind of instinctive connection on a whiteboard or through classroom film study. It is forged by running the exact same route concept 40 times until it becomes pure muscle memory. Every single practice session missed represents dozens of crucial conversations that never took place between the signal caller and his primary weapon. And the calendar doesn't care about injuries. Look ahead at the schedule. The preseason opener looms right around the corner on the road against a fierce rival, followed quickly by a high-profile reunion matchup against New England and wrapping up against Cincinnati. That leaves a microscopic window of time before the games start counting for real. Realistically speaking, even at 100% health, an elite veteran of his caliber was never going to log heavy minutes in meaningless August exhibition games. Nobody in their right mind risks their franchise receiver when the scoreboard doesn't matter. But the true burning question isn't whether he suits up for an exhibition match. The real question is whether he can step back onto the practice field before time completely runs out. The counter perspective, panic or prudence. Before we let panic completely consume our judgment, let's look at the rational side of the ledger. There are very valid reasons to take a deep breath and step back from the ledge. First, the voices closest to the pulse of the organization have consistently maintained that there is no long-term structural concern. Front offices rarely downplay major injuries publicly because medical realities always surface within days, and the credibility penalty for dishonesty is far too steep. Second, the complete absence of a mandatory injury timeline right now is standard operating procedure. Teams are legally required to issue strict participation reports during the regular season, but August training camp operates under entirely different rules. The deafening silence we are analyzing might simply reflect a lack of reporting obligation rather than a hidden disaster. Third, keeping a key player locked in bubble wrap is often the smartest strategic play available. Soft tissue injuries are notoriously fragile. Push an athlete back onto the field half a step too early, and a minor 3-day maintenance pause instantly morphs into a 3-week absence. Conservatism here is designed to protect a massive financial and competitive investment. Finally, nobody outside the training room actually knows the exact severity or the target return date. Anyone shouting definitive predictions today is simply guessing in the dark. The final verdict, with a brand new offensive scheme being hastily installed and muscle injuries locking down the entire wide receiver room. The coaching staff faces a brutal dilemma. What is the smarter path forward? Holding our superstar out until September and sacrificing irreplaceable timing work with the quarterback, or rushing him back into the August heat just to salvage reps? The season is rushing toward us like a freight train, and the answers will reveal themselves sooner rather than later. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you're locked in for the next update as this high-stakes drama continues to unfold.